The host has unmuted your mic.
Good morning, everyone.
Hey, everybody. Good morning. It's Friday, March 5th. Thank you for waking up with us in Provincetown.
Yeah, we look a little different today. Me and Bob are not together for the first time. There was just I don't want to say an outbreak, but there's been a few cases of coronavirus that have been a little close to home for us. So we decided to be cautionary and keep everyone as safe as possible. We're just gonna chill in our living rooms and chit chat with y'all through the modern technology. Yeah.
Mark was like, "You guys should try to pull off that Amy and Tina stunt from the Golden Globes."
Oh, where
where
you the hand?
I try to touch you.
Wait. Beep. Nailed it.
Totally.
Thank you all for joining us again this morning. We have a really exciting show for you. We have Todd Alsup, who's going to join us for a little chat. We're also going to show you his brand new music video for his single Bleed. We also, Bob sat down with Steve Katsurinis last night, who is the chair of the Board of Health here in Provincetown, and they chatted about their meeting last night. How'd that go, Bob?
A lot of exciting stuff going on here in P-Town. That was a joint meeting of the Board of Health and the Select Board, all the decision makers in town together, trying to get us through the rest of this pandemic safely and successfully. So
Right.
We'll all hear about that in a minute.
That's great.
But first, Harry, how was your week?
My week was cute. A little low key. I've been kind of chilling at my house all day yesterday. Been laying low this week, but it's been cute. I actually Tuesday night, my roommate Benji got a package in the mail, and I was like, "What's that?" And it was a bunch of cookies. He's like, "Oh, it was to celebrate Purim, which is a Jewish holiday." So, and then we had like a little Purim celebration of our own. I don't know if y'all know what Purim is, but it's this Jewish holiday where one of the ways in which you celebrate it is food gifts. And one of his good friends mailed him a bunch of cookies. And then he started telling me about it. And how you celebrate it is you give food gifts. You also tell the story of Purim, which is centered around the villain, which is Haman. And he told me that as you're telling the story, you're supposed to cheer really loudly and shout really loudly so that you don't hear Haman's name. So every time they mention his name, you're supposed to cheer over it. So he told me the story, and I cheered over the name, and then he gave me a Haman Tushin, which is a little a Haman cookie. There we go. Okay. You nailed it. It's a little cookie shaped like a hat, like Haman's hat, and the idea is that you're like eating him. Basically, the story is the king. Haman was kind of his like sidekick, his viceroy, and there was this guard named Mordecai who he hated because Mordecai never bowed to him. Right. So he decided that he was going to kill Mordecai and all the Jews along with him to get back at him. So, but then the one night the king couldn't sleep. So to bore him to sleep, he had his assistants read him like the daily log. And then he found out that Mordecai did all this great work to prevent the king from being killed. So the king like loves Mordecai now. So he asks Haman, his sidekick, like, "What should I do for someone I really like?" Haman thinks it's going to be him. So he's like, "Oh, dress him up in jewels and robes and like strut him around town." Then he finds out that it's Mordecai and he's like pissed. And then Mordecai's like, like daughter / cousin. Yeah. But it was her cousin whose parents passed away. So he like adopted her. Like, so like daughter / cousin.
Did you convert?
No.
You know the whole thing.
I had to. I was going to tell it on my show, and Benji told me the story on Tuesday. But Esther convinced the king to like swap, and rather than killing Mordecai and the Jews, to kill Haman and all the people that were going to kill him. Exactly. So it was fun. We had our food gifts. Benji told me the story, and it was really sweet. I don't know if that was 100% the correct telling of that story, but it's the Cliff Notes.
If you know that Harrison was right, put a yarmulke emoji in the comments.
Is there a yarmulke emoji?
Do you remember Home for Purim?
No. What's that?
It's the movie within a movie in For Your Consideration, the Christopher Guest movie.
No way.
And Catherine O'Hara's character thinks she's going to be nominated for an Oscar for her role in Home. They all think they're going to be nominated. You never saw For Your Consideration?
No, I don't think I know. I'm gonna get eaten alive for this, but I don't know that I've ever seen a Christopher Guest movie.
Are you kidding me? You guys, we have to stop this show right now. Harrison's fired. It's just me now. Harry, you have to at least start with Waiting for Guffman.
Right. The Best in Show, I know I've seen parts of.
Okay.
And Drop Dead Gorgeous is not a Christopher Guest film.
No.
But like that same like
vein.
mockumentary style.
Right.
I do love Drop Dead Gorgeous.
You need to see For Your Consideration because it is, for me, one of Catherine O'Hara's greatest performances. When she wasn't actually nominated for an Oscar for Your Consideration, I was really upset because she's that good in it.
Oh, she's that good in For Your Consideration?
Yes.
Were his movies like getting Oscar buzz and stuff?
No, but they should have. It was because it's like a totally different genre and people just weren't ready for it. But like there's a scene where she's like waking up early in the morning to listen to the radio because they're announcing all the nominations and she's like, please. And it's like so heartbreaking when they don't say her name. Oh my God, I could cry right now over it.
I mean, I imagine that's the case for a lot of actors and actresses that like think they're close or.
Right.
Yeah. I imagine, what's her name? Michaela Kohler? I'm not sure his last name, but I'm sure she was pretty upset when she didn't get nominated for her show.
I think the moral of the story is you can't worry about awards. It's all about the work.
That's true. That was like when previous this summer, they announced all the new rules for the Oscars.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's like, this isn't fair. I'm like, you shouldn't be making movies to win Oscars. You should be making great movies. And then if they happen to win Oscars, you know what I mean?
Totally.
Yeah. How was your week?
My week was really good. Well, I mean, it was good and bad. So I had an appointment at the RMV to renew my license.
That's the bad part?
Yes. Well, the good part was that I made the appointment. The bad part is that I did not read the email, which tells you what to bring to your appointment. And if you get there and you are missing one of the 10 things that you're supposed to bring, they're like, out.
Get out. Right.
And so I had one of 10.
That's like the classic tale of the RMV. You like wait in line for 2 hours and they're like, oh, you forgot this thing. And you're like, thanks so much.
Yeah, so we were already too close to Dennis to come back and get the stuff. So Peter was like, let's just go to Wendy's and take our takeout to Fort Hill. And I made a 1-minute video of our time at Fort Hill because have you been to Fort Hill in Eastham?
No.
So if you're coming back from Orleans, it's maybe 2 minutes later. It's like you bear right to go to the Fort Hill area.
Okay.
And it's so beautiful there. There's a really gorgeous little walk through the woods. And it's like these barley fields. It just feels like it's Cape Cod because you can see the water, but it's also like this big farmland kind of looking area.
Cute. What's your Wendy's order?
Well, it depends. I don't know if they're doing the 2 for $5 because I love me a spicy chicken sandwich. So I would rather have a chicken sandwich than a side of fries. So I got 2 chicken sandwiches.
Good. I always get a number 1 with cheese, just a single with cheese, classic. No pickle.
That is classic. No pickle. Yeah. And Peter's a grilled chicken because he wants to live forever. I'm not into that. You guys watch this minute of beauty in Eastham, please.
Yeah.
Cute, right?
That was so cute. I love the end. Do you want to keep walking? Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Did
beautiful.
you see that big tree in front of that house?
Gorgeous.
It's like as tall as a 2-story house, the root there.
Jesus, we don't get a lot of big trees on the Cape.
No, and you don't get a lot of like grassy fields with like 8-foot tall like wheat or whatever that is there.
Yeah, that's true. That was beautiful. Was it really cold that day?
Cold enough that you wanted to wear gloves and a hat.
Oh.
I think that was just 2 days ago. That was Wednesday.
That for me is too cold to go outside.
Well, what's the weather going to be like this weekend, Harry? Do you know?
Let's see. Let me pull it up. Okay,
Look,
there we go. It's going to be cold again, but it's not like so bad. It's like hovering around freezing, which is pretty okay. Today it might dip down into the low 20s, which is a bit of a bummer, but it's sunny out, so you can't complain, I guess. It's March, so like things hopefully will be changing shortly.
But look at that. Look, sunny all day Sunday.
Yeah. And like cold, but not unbearably so.
Yeah, and as long as it's sunny, it really doesn't ever feel as bad as it might seem. And this is also a great weekend for low tides for you clammers out there. Today, low tide's at 10, which is imminently, so they're probably out there right now, staking their claim. And on Sunday, low tide is going to be at 12:06.
Oh, that's perfect.
It is perfect. 29 degrees is maybe not ideal, but you can struggle through it. Yeah.
I feel like the biggest determining factor of whether the cold is bearable or not is wind.
Absolutely.
Like, what was that? Was it Monday?
Oh,
or
God.
Sunday?
It was super windy all night long.
Yeah, Monday night into Tuesday. I live up kind of in the woods behind Stop and Shop, and we have those like really tall pine trees that are very typical of the Cape.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I get nervous that one of them is going to fall, and everyone's like, "Don't worry about it. You're in like the lower level of the house." I'm like, "Yeah, it could land on my car."
Yep.
But I always remind myself that they've been there for probably hundreds of years.
Mm-hmm.
And tonight's probably not the night.
Our house was shaking the whole night, and I stayed up later than he did. He went up to sleep, and like an hour after he went to bed, the house was just shaking, and he came running out of the bedroom, and he's like, "What was that? What's going on out here?" And I was like, "It's just the wind."
You're like, Cape Cod, it's happening outside.
I'm like, it's Batman too. I'm watching Michelle Pfeiffer like learning how to use a whip right now.
It was so funny when you said that, like when we were like talking about how Waiting for Guffman and like all those movies didn't win any Oscars. I was like, just like Michelle Pfeiffer not winning for Batman, which was a travesty.
Also, if you go back and look at some of these Tim Burton movies, the art direction, the costumes, the sets, it's such incredible work. And I'm like, why didn't people love this as much as I love it right now?
I feel like people did love it, but it wasn't it didn't feel like it was like meant to be respected in a way that an Oscar film is now. Because now it's like people are winning for superhero movies like Batman and the Joker.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, Black Panther was up for Best Picture that year.
That was a great film. Yeah.
Have you seen any of the Horror Story shooting going around?
I haven't seen any of it. I was driving down Commercial Street on Monday, and there was like one tent left out front of Town Hall. I do think they were shooting in Town Hall on Monday or at Town Hall. I'm not sure. But I have been privy to the talk on Provincetown Community Space about it all, and it seems to be pretty contentious.
Really? Why?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people who are really excited about them being here, which I understand. And there's a lot of people that feel the need to admonish people for being excited about it.
Let people be excited.
Well, I'm very much in that camp as well. Like, let people be excited, but there are some people who relax a little as well.
Are you talking about the guy that's stalking them?
Is there only one? But that's what I mean. Like,
yeah. There are people campaigning to get a role.
Which is cute. But I also I feel like that's the last way to get a role.
Probably.
You know what I mean? But I think that's cute. That's great. I think everyone wants to kind of feel like they're a part of it. And that's a way to feel like you're a part of it. Even if it doesn't work out, you were part of all the talk around it, which I think is exciting and that's cute. But I do feel like Provincetown in my head is kind of supposed to be one of those places where famous people can come and not be bothered so much.
Right.
I don't know if that's the general consensus, but I feel like that's a good way to be. Like, we want to be able to, like, we work at the Red Inn, and I know a lot of other restaurants in town. You get people that come through, like we've had Lily Tomlin, Courtney Love, we've had Sarah Paulson, Holland Taylor, Ryan Murphy, and we like to treat them like they're real people, which isn't necessarily leaving them alone, bothering them just as much as we do everyone else. Yeah.
Oh my God, Adam Howard said Kathy Bates stole his sledgehammer. Listen, Kathy Bates can have whatever she wants, Adam Howard.
You say, I need it back, and as penance, you have to be on Wake Up in Provincetown.
Yeah, Adam, get her to come on the show. We've actually reached out to Ryan Murphy's team. Hopefully we'll get to speak with Ryan in the upcoming weeks. But I think it's great that they're here. This is exciting.
Yeah, I think it's really exciting. I love when watching movies that are set in Boston or Palm Springs, like, because I've lived there, you get to like point at all like the sandwich shops that you go to, things like that. And that'll be fun to also watch in Provincetown.
Yeah.
But there are people like threatening to like release spoilers and stuff, and I'm like, relax, everyone.
Party pooper.
Yeah. I just think it's like, be excited, but like we want people to want to come back to film these things, especially Ryan Murphy, who has been such an incredible trailblazer when it comes to representation. Like, I started watching Nip Tuck when I was probably like 15, and it was kind of the first time I saw like a trans storyline, which was really exciting. And continuously, almost every show he's done has been groundbreaking. Pose is one of the first shows that followed really closely trans storylines and kind of put trans storylines in the forefront of a story rather than a side story. So yeah, he's really important to our community. I think he does great work for our community, and we want him here shooting in our community.
Yeah, he loves it here.
Yeah.
We should show everybody this conversation that I had with Steve last night. So the Board of Select and the Board of Health met from 4 to 6. And then Steve was kind enough to take a couple minutes after that meeting to come and tell me everything that happened and what kind of summer we can expect to have here in 2021. So
That's
take
great.
it away, Steve.
It's hard to get around it, but yeah, let's go with this one, right?
The carnival one?
Yeah, I mean, I hope we're going to have some. We'll return to this someday.
Really? Well, I mean, you just had your meeting between the Board of Health and the Board of Select, right?
Yes, we did. We did.
What?
Are we going?
Tell me everything.
Well, so the Board of Select and the Board of Health met today in a joint session. We've been meeting back for a year now. And during that time, we've been trying to anticipate the needs. We met actually before the governor declared the first state of emergency. We met to declare a state of emergency. It was Nantucket and Provincetown that were the first two towns in the state to do that. And so we've been ahead of the governor most of the time. Now that the CDC says that it might be not prudent to move forward, I think the board's heard that tonight. Now the governor, of course, for reasons that might involve politics or something else, is deciding to move as rapidly as possible into phase 4. And I think that the board struck the right balance tonight in saying we want to support businesses and we want the tourists to be able to come back, but we need to do it safely. And so when businesses are planning for this coming season, what we are hoping to do is to both give them the opportunity to have enough information to plan for the season and also to be able to move appropriately, but I think a little more cautiously than the governor in opening. So we will come back in the end of April and relook at our order. A couple of other things that I do want to mention. The plans that were approved for last summer for operating are automatically approved to continue. So nobody has to go back before regulatory boards to get outdoor seating approved. That all just is automatically continued. So that's hopefully one thing that businesses see as supportive. We also discussed, but decided to postpone for now, changing the local hour at which last call occurs. The governor at one point had set it at 9 o'clock. We were at 11 throughout. But of course, the governor's orders, where more restrictive, are the ones that everyone has to follow. Our order remains at 11 for now, but we're looking at moving it or removing that restriction entirely and going back to 1 a.m. And that discussion will occur at the April 29th meeting. So I think that you heard the select board and the Board of Health say that we very much want to support businesses and tourists to come here, but we don't feel like we are ready to go ahead and take our order away.
It did feel like he was caving to some sort of pressure, maybe from small businesses or something like that. And I mean, we all got really excited here at first because we were like, oh, now that means we get to do trivia inside again. But of course, that's not the case right now. So you're not going to revisit this again until the end of April?
Correct. It'll be we did say, and this has been the case all along, the chair of the select board, Dave Abramson, and I, along with the town manager and the director of the health department, Morgan Clark, are in constant communication with each other so that if something changes, we're immediately ready to pivot. This year has been one in which we have really been on top of what's necessary. And so that's not going to change. If suddenly we were able to vaccinate 50% of the population in the next month, which is completely unrealistic. But if something happened and things changed, we would meet immediately and address it. Likewise, if it turns out, and we're very hopeful that it won't be the case, that some of these variants are able to thwart the vaccine, we will come back and look at that too. So we remain engaged with each other and prepared to call the boards into session to either make more strong or relax the restrictions as the circumstances warrant.
How do you think the vaccine rollout is going?
It's been horrible. It has actually absolutely been terrible. And I don't want to blame the governor for everything, but I will blame him for not planning, for caving to special interests. The fact that churches were allowed to gather was one of the first things that he did. Mm-hmm. That just doesn't make sense. It was dangerous. And a lot of churches in Provincetown voluntarily chose to not do that. So we respect them for making that choice. A lot of people that go to churches tend to be older. They were at high risk. And those churches made decisions in contravention of what the governor was allowing. And I respect them for that. When it comes to this vaccine rollout, this has been terrible. And our state senator, Julian Sear, deserves so much credit for standing up and repeatedly being willing to break the frame with this governor. Our legislature, controlled by Democrats, works with the Republican governor really well. And for most of the things that they do to govern us, I think that's a pretty good model, right? Mm-hmm. We want our government to work together. But when Julian sees that vaccine rollout is terrible, he stands up and he advocates for us. And so in the midst of him getting those vaccine sites set up on the Cape, mm-hmm. at the same time, Morgan Clark was told that the vaccine plan that under state mandate she had to develop, that we were not allowed to do it. So there was a plan to do a Truro Provincetown drive-up vaccine clinic. We were going to be able to do 1,000 people a week, in addition to what Outer Cape is doing, which is much smaller, unfortunately, and much more dependent upon what doses arrive. Morgan had a plan, and the governor ordered her to stand down and not do it. So we're literally not able to vaccinate people using town resources. We have to send people either to Outer Cape, which they've also done an excellent job, but they're limited in the amount of, and they don't know what they're going to get really from week to week. So for them to plan ahead and tell you when you're going to get your vaccine, they can't do that. And then we've got some sites now in the Mid-Cape where you can go. So you don't have to go all the way to Gillette like most of the people over 75 did. Mm-hmm. So, but it's been terrible. And the communication is terrible. The websites are terrible. And I will say this, he had one job from October to New Year's. Mm-hmm. And that was to plan for this vaccine rollout. This vaccine is not a surprise. It didn't just show up in a package one day on his desk. He knew it was coming, and he didn't plan for it. And the failed rollout of that is why we're where we're at today.
Jeez. I know, I'm just waiting for, it's so hard to know when our phase is, like restaurant workers. Like, we're all just chomping at the bit. And we had this conversation with Julian where I was like, they announce it, and then everybody goes online, and it's like trying to buy Taylor Swift tickets.
Exactly.
Like sold out in half an hour. Excuse me. And so I just don't even know where to look. So where should we be looking to know when somebody like me can get mine?
So the information is on the state website as far as where we are. Although, again, our governor has this tendency to like to make up deadlines and suddenly change everything. So you could wake up one morning, and be watching Wake Up in Provincetown and find out that you're eligible.
Right.
So it is true that the next group with no date assigned to it and no vaccines also to give you are to be the workers in what we call frontline positions. So servers, when we had bars, we had bartenders, if you can recall that far back, people who perform, people who work in retail, they're next, we're next. But we don't know when that'll be exactly, and we're way behind. The state is vaccinating 50,000 people a day, which sounds like a lot. But at this rate, it's about 80 more days before the first vaccine is in everyone's arms. And that's if everything goes right.
So you are anticipating a summer very similar to last year in terms of how the town is run and how businesses will be open or not?
So I'm going to say that's the worst case scenario, unless something unexpected happens with this virus, which this virus's nickname is unexpected. So who knows what might occur. But if the virus responds the way we think it will to the vaccine, worst case scenario, we redo last year. Best case scenario, we could be looking at opening things up as early as Memorial Day, some things, and we could be maybe fully open by the fall. And I certainly know that that's where Bob Sanborn, the head of the PBG, thinks that we will be. And I'm optimistic. I share his hope for that. Certainly everybody who works with the tourist industry in this town wants to see that.
Right.
And the select board and the Board of Health do too.
And they haven't yet canceled Bear Week and Carnival this year, have they?
So it's pretty complicated to understand how all these things fit together. At this point, it doesn't seem like large-scale events are going to happen, certainly not in the July timeframe. But nothing's been canceled, and certainly, I think we've shown that we are ingenious enough to come up with alternatives. Right. So I fully expect that when it comes to things like bears are going to come. Bears came last summer. Right. And they'll make their own fun, whatever that looks like. So I think that there will be fun. But it will not look like it did a couple of years ago yet.
All right. But will you promise me that when they have their first tea dance, we'll go and have a punch together?
Absolutely. I promise you that.
How have you been?
Good. It's been crazy. I will say bookings for this summer for our inn are up. But some of that is people that rolled over from last summer, which is great because that shows some stickiness to our customers, and we like sticky customers, right? So that's a good thing. I think everybody's learned to be more limber, and I think as a life hack, that's not a bad thing. It just sucks when you're in the middle of it.
And I think if Provincetown proved one thing last summer, it was that we did a really good job at navigating this. So thank you for all the work that you're doing. I know it's not an easy job.
Hey, you know what? I will say, with a town like this where people are so willing to cooperate, it is actually, there are days when it's difficult. But the difficulty is things like the governor or not enough vaccine, right? It's not because somebody in this town is trying to make it harder. People in Provincetown work together, and that's great. And we take care of people, and that's our brand. Right. So I hope that sticks with us as we leave this pandemic and go into the roaring 20s, and we can roar a little.
Woo! The roaring 20s. I can't wait.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
I don't think I've actually seen you since our election special.
No, I've seen you because, of course, I tune into the show on Fridays. But no, we haven't seen each other. I feel like I don't only see people through my TV now. Right.
Well, thank you again for all of your hard work that night. Look where we are now.
I know. I am so happy. Good. And, Trump didn't get inaugurated today, so that's huge news.
Yet. No, kidding.
I mean, when you're in a cult and you say that this is the day the president's going to get inaugurated, or this is the day the aliens are going to come and abduct us, and then they don't come, what do you do then, right? I mean, the Mayans were smart. They died 400 years ago, so they didn't have to explain what happens when their calendar doesn't end.
Right.
What do you do when you're in the cult and the cult doesn't perform?
What are they doing? They just keep moving the goalpost, right?
Well, and they make money. They're making, I mean, that's the thing, right? The
Mhm.
leaders of the cults always seem to turn out rich.
And he's going to end up running in 2024, I guess.
Which, I mean, has to be a Democratic dream, right?
I'm going to share in your optimism.
Well, it's crazy, and it appeals to our worst instincts on both sides, right? I mean, he brought out hate and anger in me that I don't ever want to live again.
Right.
And I think for his supporters, he brought them, joy and a dream of a super white America, and I don't want that either.
Right.
So, he brings out the worst in us.
Absolutely. Well, I'm looking forward to a good summer, Steve. I hope you have one too.
Thank you. And like I said, we'll have that drink at the boat slip.
All right. Tell Brandon I said hi.
I will. Thanks, Bob.
Yeah. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
That was so great.
Right. So, I mean, I think we're going to have a good year.
It's not exactly like the news we'd all hope for. I mean, because the news we all hope for is like, oh my God, the virus completely disappeared and we're back to normal. But like, obviously that's not going to happen. And I think like our show this morning, an abundance of caution is the right way to do it. As much as as much as I want an incredible summer of everything being open, everyone making tons of money and everyone having a great time, what I want to see before that is cases plummet, deaths plummet, vaccines in people's arms, things like that. So let's wait and see.
Hopefully by the time they get to our phase, they have the Johnson & Johnson one in town, because I just want one shot.
That would be great. And I think this past week they did an emergency approval of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which is exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the Johnson & Johnson vaccine doesn't keep you from getting it as much as the other ones, but it has 100% success rate of no hospitalizations, that's kind of the goal.
Right. Oh, and I got a correction on my little East Ham video. What I referred to as wheat is actually called phragmites.
Oh, phragmite, of course.
Is that true?
I don't know. I mean, whoever told you, I believe them.
It was Margaret.
Oh, I definitely believe then. We miss Margaret a lot. He's usually our cameraman, and he's kind of our everything.
Thank you for playing fact checker today, Mark.
Yeah, of course. The thing about Trump running again in 2024, it's like, as much as we don't want to relive that, isn't there a saying about something about the enemy you know is easier than the enemy you don't know, or something like that?
The devil you know is better than the devil you don't.
That's what it is. Right. So I guess that.
Let's just let's enjoy the next 4 years.
Yeah. I mean, I guess my takeaway is I'm just worried that someone as terrible as Trump, who's smarter, which wouldn't be hard, and a little more polished, which wouldn't be hard, will come along and be a greater challenge.
It's going to be here before you know it. I mean, they're going to start running next year.
Oh, God, can't we have a minute?
It's going to be another 2-year election cycle.
Well, I mean, he's already doing campaign rallies and garbage like that. So,
right. Do we have a birthday call today?
We do. We have an extra special birthday. Let me get them on the phone. Let's see.
Who is it?
I don't know if they're what.
Is it a morning person? Do you think they're going to wake up?
I'm not sure. I feel the best case scenario, they're still up.
Who is it? Tell us who it is.
It's.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
I guess they're not awake. Let's try one more time. Oh, it's ringing.
Really? I would have bet against this happening.
Yeah, me too. While we're waiting for this person to potentially pick up, you're welcome on Facebook. We highly suggest you switch over.
Good morning.
Good morning, Kaya. Happy birthday. Of course, this is Harrison and Bob calling from Wake Up in Provincetown. We just wanted to make sure we wish you a happy birthday on air. You are one of our favorite guests always, and you always turn it out for us. So we just wanted to thank you and wish you a very happy birthday and an amazing year.
Oh, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys. And I really do love Provincetown. Oh, you guys. 29.
Woo! Do you got big plans for today?
Nope.
Those are good plans. That's that's the best birthday. Watch a movie, chill in bed, maybe go for a walk. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna, well, I mean, it's crazy to think that this time last year was like the last time that we all got to hang out
Yeah.
before the world just decided to end. So, but you know what? A lot of good things have come of it. A lot of great opportunities for this upcoming season, which I'm really excited about. And I was really proud to get that Black History Month project, Black Female Empowerment series done. That was a lot of fun and helped keep the creative juices flowing, which is really nice.
Yeah, we loved that project. If you don't know, Kaya did a project all of Black History Month. Every day she posted a photo shoot that she did of herself where she's kind of representing herself as an incredible Black woman that inspires her. If you haven't seen it, check it out on her Instagram. And we were supposed to have her on today to chat about it, but because of the way we reformatted the show, we couldn't. But we think we're going to have her next week to chat about it.
I'd love to.
Perfect. Well, have a really fantastic birthday, and we will chat with you next week.
Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys next week, hopefully.
Of course. Love you. Happy birthday.
She's making a really good point. So, my friend Barry texted and was like, last night, a year ago, we were at Company on Broadway, and that was the last Broadway show we've seen. We haven't seen any in a year. And it's like, it's so crazy to think.
Yeah, Barry's a big Broadway guy, and he said this is the longest he's gone without seeing a Broadway show since he was like 10 years old.
Yeah, he was like, I'm grateful that the last one that I saw was Sondheim and that it was Company, and especially that it was Patti LuPone.
Yeah, not a horrible last show to see before isolation.
Not a bad way to go out. I'm glad that I got to be there too, and I miss it so much, but it's coming back.
Yeah, it's one of those things that it will be back. When, who knows, but we will be there to celebrate and to have a great time.
Yeah, I was reading something this morning, an interview with Fran Lebowitz, and of course she was like, what do people think is going to happen? Broadway's going to move to Schenectady? It's coming back.
That could be cute.
It is coming back to New York. New York is not dead.
Right. But I do think one of the things that, I guess one of the ideas that was kind of like a tiny silver lining in all of this is like, entertainment and joy can be found anywhere. You don't have to be on Broadway. You don't have to be on New York. You can open up your laptop and see an incredible show like Wake Up in Provincetown, or incredible performances from Kaya Crystal, or me, or you, or Jonathan Hawkins.
Or Todd Alsup.
Exactly. Speaking of Todd Alsup, let's chat with Todd.
Todd, are you there?
Nice segue. I like it.
Right? We're so good at this.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you guys?
We're really
Hanging in
good.
there.
I'm learning so much this morning from watching the show.
Good. Thank you so much for waking up and joining us this morning.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Where are you joining us from? Are you here in Provincetown, or are you in New York?
No,
or?
I'm in New York City. I'm in Washington Heights. I'll be back in
Cute.
Provincetown this summer, so I'll probably get there in June. I'm looking forward to that.
And you did your Elton versus Billy show last summer at the Crown?
I did indeed, with Mr. John Richardson, and we're going to be back this summer. The Crown rebooked us, so we'll be playing Monday nights at 9 p.m. We're looking forward to that.
Excellent.
That's really exciting. I got a little, right when you guys were like kind of wrapping up rehearsal and about to move into real performances, this was like right before the pandemic, but I got a little live viewing.
You saw the very first, we got together, John and I got together last March. It was the week before the world closed down. I came to Provincetown and we created that show. We made our first draft. We put 35 songs together, crunched them all together, and then we invited you guys over to give you saw the first preview.
And it was incredible.
Thank you.
And as much as the show was amazing this past summer, and whatever it ends up being this summer will be amazing, I hope that you guys do get to do it in an unrestricted environment, because I feel like that's what the show, that show was such high energy. There was no moment where it lulled. It was just hits, 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 hits. And I feel like it deserves a riotous, drunk audience, untethered
What we
Like, it
really
just
want
deserves that.
is for people to have liberty to dance during
Mhm.
the show, and that's the thing. I think that's the only part that we really miss. But you're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
we want it to be a party.
Yeah, it's like 35 songs in an hour, and you're gonna know every single
one of them.
word.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you have some new music to premiere today, right?
I do. Yeah, I just released a brand new single on Tuesday. It's out on, all the usual places where you find digital music, so Spotify and iTunes and Amazon. And then we shot this music video for the song that our friend John Richardson directed and produced. He did a beautiful job. And I think
John Hawkins. The other John.
John Hawkins is gonna call me and be like,
How dare you?
Jonathan Hawkins directed and produced this.
This song is called Bleed.
It is indeed.
What
what's
inspired it?
It's funny how things work. I have a collaborator that I work with who lives in Switzerland. He's a producer, songwriter, and we've been working together for years. I went to do like a writing session with him a year ago, and we started with a couple of ideas. And he started to play some musical stuff for me that I was like, hey, that kind of feels very James Bond-like. And it kind of opened up my imagination to, if I was going to write a James Bond kind of song, what might the story be? And my first instinct was, in James Bond movies, how he's always getting sort of seduced and allowing himself to sort of be vulnerable, and then ultimately always gets betrayed. It's a trap. And so that was kind of like the starting idea for what this lyric was about, that it's about you weren't what I thought you were. And so the video, which we're going to show you in a few minutes, plays a lot with sort of like imagery with Rorschach tests. You guys know what Rorschach tests are? Where it's sort of like, it's up to you to sort of interpret, but really it can be a lot of different things. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of like the visual idea that we started with.
Yeah, it's like literally like I was watching the video and like the first chord hits and I'm like, oh, James Bond. Like you very much captured that feel.
We went for it. We were like, let's do it.
Yeah. Let's watch the video now and then we'll come back and chat about it.
Cool.
Was a speeding train, adrenaline coursed my veins, pleasure and deepest pain. That was the price I paid when I played your game. For I knew when deed was done, you can't unshoot a smoking gun. Warning signs I didn't hear. You played your part, and I believed. Let down my guard. Watch me bleed. Lost in the dead of night, lured in by your moonlight. I trusted you with my life. that was a fool's mistake. It was suicide. Held my breath and rolled the dice. A sudden death, the only price. Warning signs I didn't hear. You played your part convincingly. Let down my guard, and I was deceived. Shot me let down my guard, and I was deceived. Shut me down and watched me bleed.
Oh, that was amazing. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Nailed it. That was so the Bond vibe.
Hmm.
That's
With like a little sprinkling of Donny Hathaway.
Oh,
Yes.
So
high
good.
praise. High praise.
Yeah. The song's amazing. You sound incredible. The music video that you all put together is so beautiful and so fitting for the song. How is it like work? Like, is that your first music video, or have you done them before?
No, no. I started doing sort of like visual elements for my singles, probably starting like 4 or 5 years ago, and it's a whole other thing to sort of like figure out how you want to tell the story of your song visually, and it's been a learning curve. And I think like this was super fun because Jonathan's great to work with, and we kind of came to the table with similar ideas. And what I loved was that I was like, I can picture this thing, and it's very fluid and it's very dreamy and dark. And he's like, I can do that. And I was like, I mean, we did this on a shoestring budget, and it looks, I just think he did such a beautiful job. So shout out to Jonathan Hawkins.
Yeah, it looks like $1 million. It looks incredible. Yeah, we work with Jonathan Hawkins here as well, as most of you all know. He kind of has his hand in everything incredible in Provincetown at the moment.
Talk about a shoestring.
Right. Holding it all together. Do you have plans for, I mean, I know this one just came out, so you're probably going to ride this wave of amazing success as we just saw, but do you have more plans to do more music, more videos?
I do. Like I try to like keep stuff in the pipeline. So I've got a couple of singles that are in the works with a couple of different producers, and I try to space them out every couple of months. I mean, it's also, a budget thing where it's sort of like, but I have a new single that's nearing completion, and then we'll figure out what it is visually, but I'm hoping to release it by this summer. So there's a
that's amazing.
It's super sexy. I'm excited about it.
And
Yeah.
so the Billy and Elton show is only on Mondays.
Yep. Mondays, 9 p.m.
What's the rest of your week look like this summer?
Great question. I mean, I'm sure you've had plenty of other musicians on the show who've talked about this, where it's just like, what a year to figure out what work is. For me, happily, like I'm linked up with Virtual Piano Bar, and I'm doing my show every Tuesday night on Facebook Live at 6:30. And that keeps me busy because I try to do, on alternating weeks, I'll do like a theme show. So I put together a whole new show every 2 weeks. This Tuesday, like for example, I'm doing like a Diana Ross show, and we'll do like a retrospective of her career, the different phases of her career, and I'll do music from her songbook. So it's stuff like that keeps me busy, and then it's just a lot of keeping myself busy with projects. So like working on new music, I'm working on a book Yeah.
What's the book?
The book is a guide to contemporary vocal style. There are a lot of books about vocal technique. There are not really any great books that lay out the elements of style. And I work with a lot of students, like as a coach, who are really daunted by the idea of like, how do I develop my own personal style? So that's what the book is.
Who are some of your favorite vocalists?
Well, you named one of them, Donny Hathaway. Donny Hathaway, Stevie Wonder. I mean, come on, Whitney Houston was like my childhood hero.
Mhm.
Aretha Franklin. Those are the big ones.
And I hear all those people in your voice as well.
Me too.
Thank you.
I mean, and whenever I hear you sing, I think the first time I heard you sing was at the Elton and Billy preview. And I'm always blown away by your control and the kind of ease that comes along with your voice while doing things that I know to be incredibly challenging.
Thanks.
Yeah. Well, we look forward to hearing everything you've got coming this summer. I'm going to make sure to try and make it to the Billy and Elton show because it's incredible. Make sure you can see all the hits. Yeah.
Thank you for having me. Really quick, I'll just throw out a plug that tickets are on sale now for the Elton and Billy show, and we were sold out all last summer. Every single week the show was sold out. So if you're planning a trip to Provincetown or if you're in Provincetown, you can get tickets now at the Crown and Anchor website, which is only at thecrown.com.
Excellent.
Yeah, there's no chance this isn't going to sell out all summer again. Right. I don't even think you need it. Like the second John Richardson told me about this idea that you had, I'm like, that's going to be a hit. There's no chance it's not going to be.
Those songs. I mean, they just, who doesn't like those two artists, and you put them together and it's just like, you said it earlier. It's like, it's one song that everybody loves after another, after another, after another, after another. And we really tried to put it together that way.
Right.
Promise,
and also,
I'm sorry. Promise me when you do your Diana Ross show that you do The Boss. I live for The Boss.
That was on like the B list. You've decided it for me. It's in. Great.
I love that.
Classic.
Well, we will see you this coming summer. Congratulations on your music video. You can check that song out on, like Todd said, all streaming sites, and you can also subscribe to Todd Alsup's YouTube channel so you can watch his video and also catch any videos that come up in the future.
Yeah.
It's
Todd.
Todd Alsup. Is it something else? The YouTube?
Everything is, and it's, thank God I have like a name that not everybody has. It's Todd Alsup everywhere, including toddalsup.com, where you can find all of my music.
Perfect. Well, we see you soon. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Boys, great to see you.
Good to see you as well. I can't wait to see that Billy Elton show again.
I didn't get to go last year.
I didn't get to go either. Me and Bob were doing trivia through most of the summer on Monday nights and this coming summer, but we'll make it work this year.
If it starts at 9, we'll be able to get over there.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah. I saw the preview show, like we said, but there are costumes involved that I have seen pictures of, and they're pretty incredible. So make sure you check that out, and everything else going on only at the Crown.
Mondays are going to be stacked this year because Thirsty and Mark Meehan are right before Todd and John.
Oh, Jesus. It's us. It's Thirsty. It's Todd. It's John. It's Mark.
Monday's the best night of the week.
Who knows? Showgirls? Who knows?
I mean, I hope so. At least one like big one, you know.
Oh my God, I would love that.
Right.
Or would you perform? Would you perform, Bob?
Sure.
Sure.
I don't know. I mean, after what happened at that Broadway show where I forgot the words in front of everybody.
But it was charming and adorable, and that's all that really matters. If you like, whenever you make mistakes when you're performing, just make it cute. Yeah, and it doesn't matter.
Well, you have to perform because you've never performed at Showgirls.
I've never done Showgirls. I have an idea, so
you can't share it though.
No, I hate sharing my ideas because most of them don't work out.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. But we hope you all have a great week.
You guys, thank you for joining us. We love when you wake up with us in Provincetown.
Yeah, wherever you are. If you're watching on Facebook, now is a really great time to go over to our YouTube, hit the subscribe button, and obviously feel free to watch us on Facebook, but YouTube's a little better of experience. It has that chat bar on the side. And also over the next few months, we're going to be moving the show almost exclusively to YouTube and then using Facebook as a promotional tool rather than a broadcasting tool. So we're just trying to consolidate and get everyone on the same channel, if you will, our YouTube channel.
Thank you, as always, to our sponsors, the Adam Howard Studio and Metal Workshop at 3 Bradford Street and Be Well Cannabis Dispensary, where you can get all of your needs met, including concentrates and tinctures.
I love a concentrate.
Me too.
And also thank you, Todd Alsup, for allowing us to play your video and also chatting with us about it today. And thank you to Steve Katsurinis for chatting with Bob. That was very informational and interesting. And it's so great to see the great work you're doing to try and make our community safe, along with getting us all back to our normal lives or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, we will see you all this Monday at Bruce Clues Trivia and this coming next week on Wake Up in Provincetown right here on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, I'm doing a Ryan Murphy category on Monday.
Cute! I haven't figured mine out yet.
The oeuvre.
The umbrella of
Yes,
Ryan Murphy.
everything Ryan Murphy.
Cute. You have 4 days to binge everything Ryan Murphy's ever done.
Yeah, good luck, you guys.
Right. But one really exciting Ryan Murphy news that came out, I think yesterday, they do a series, American Crime Story. They did, the first season was OJ. The second season was Gianni Versace. Yeah. The third, I think it's the third one, unless I missed one, but I don't think so. But it's going to be American Crime Story Impeachment. And it's going to be centered around the Bill Clinton impeachment of the 90s. And they did announce some casting news yesterday, which is really exciting. Hillary Clinton, one of all of our favorite politicians who we all love, is going to be played by an actress who we all love, Edie Falco, who is amazing. We know she's going to bring it, and that makes me really excited for that.
That's going to be really fun.
Yeah. So we'll stay tuned for that. Well, maybe that'll be a question. You just got the answer. Thank you all for waking up in Provincetown.
Wherever you are.
We'll see you next week.